Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to, yes, you read that right, Star versus the Forces of Evil. We're finally getting back to more of this. I know it's been a while, and I want to talk about that for a real quick second here. I know it's been a while, and I haven't been really on the ball with this series, and I apologize for that. I really do. But it's just like with how the schedule had been going and everything, it's just been really hard to keep up with it because there's just been too many shows. And with the way I was doing Star Versus, with having it just be an as I can get to it kind of show, it's been one of those situations where it's just been hard to get to. And I'll be honest, there have been a couple of occasions where I've questioned whether or not I should continue reacting to it or just watch it on my own time and just get it done with that way. Because if I watched on my own time, I would have been completely caught up by now. Because at that point, it's just like I wouldn't need to have to like figure it out and everything. Because again, as I've said before, doing reactions is a lot different from watching things on my own time. It takes a lot more out of me, and it's a lot more focused. I have to be within a certain mindset, a certain mood, all of that kind of stuff. I can't just record a reaction all willy-nilly at any time. And so because of that, I've a lot of times been focusing on pretty much everything else. And as you know, just recently I have cut down on reactions. I've cut it down to where almost every day is one show per day, except for Tuesdays and Saturdays. And there's a special reason for both. Specific reason why those 2 days have two shows. And I'm hoping that this will help me start to get caught up, because there's like only 21 episodes this season, right? So it's like we have 20 released currently, and then there's the big finale, like I guess this coming Sunday. Which is funny, because this coming Sunday I do know is also the series finale of Game of Thrones. Which I only barely pay attention to because I see it all the time on social media. I know this coming Sunday is the series finale of Game of Thrones, and now it's apparently going to be the series finale of Star Versus as well. Maybe that's why they've been rushing through it. They wanted to do that, but I don't see why. Like, wouldn't they think that would interfere with things? Like, I would think that would take a lot of viewership away. I don't know. Maybe, of course, maybe that's Disney's plan. I mean, they seem to want to just bury this show, get it, like, completely done and over with, and just forget about it, so. Who knows? Who knows? Either way, though, this season is the final season of Star Versus, and honestly, I've had some mixed feelings on it, especially during all of this time since my last recording for it and all. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've been thinking about how, even though I've been enjoying the episodes just in general, when I really look back on it, there's a lot of things that they're rushing. In fact, this entire arc regarding Mina as the final villain, regarding Globgor and Eclipsa, all of this seems excessively rushed. And I just don't see how they're going to be able to wrap up everything in a very tidy, respectable way with as little as we still have. Like, there's like, what, 6 episodes that I have to go through right now that are currently released? Yeah, there's 6 episodes, 15 through 20. And because of that, well, that means 7 episodes total. I don't think that's enough. Like, for the kind of series this is, with how it's set up and everything, I don't think there's a way they can, like, properly wrap everything up. And I know that the show wasn't canceled. I know that it is just ending on its own terms, but it just seems like Darren Nefsey and the staff are just exceedingly rushing out this final storyline that feels like it should have had an entirely another season. There should have been a season 5. Having it end with season 4 here is making everything feel like they're not giving it enough time and energy. And there are 2 things I do know about. I have been spoiled about because of, just getting super behind. I do know that for some reason, I don't know the reason, but for some reason, everybody hates Moon now. Everybody seems to just hate Queen Moon, or former Queen Moon now. I don't know why. I don't have any context for it. I don't have anything to explain that. I just know that everybody seems to hate her. And the second thing I know is that there is going to be at least one episode that focuses on a teenage version of Eclipse's daughter, whose name is escaping me right now. I can't think. Meteora. A teenage version of Meteora, and a teenage version of Marco's little sister. So I do know that. Now, I believe we did know that Marco's mom was pregnant, but I guess we're going to see his sister come into play. At least I swear I heard about that before. If I didn't know, if it didn't say anything before in the show, maybe that was another spoiler, but I swear that was in the show before. If not, and I'm wrong, then that's another thing I was spoiled on. Obviously, the fact that he has a sister. But yeah, I know those things, and I don't know about the Moon situation, because again, I don't know any of the context behind it, but if there's going to be an episode that focuses on a teenage Meteora and sister to Marco, there's a couple ways they could do that, of course, because obviously they could use the Never Zone kind of thing with aging up. But I just feel like trying to introduce a sister for Marco at this point and make her an actual character would feel extremely forced and rushed. And Meteora, I mean, we knew her as Miss Heinous and everything, and she's had a character. But trying to give her, most likely a new character at this point by aging her up suddenly and giving her an episode and everything, again, would probably just feel really forced. So I don't know what they're planning with this. And again, I don't know the context behind any of this. I just know that apparently this is happening. It just feels like, I don't know. It just feels like they're trying to do too much here. And I'm just hoping that they don't go too overboard with it. Now, as you may have noticed, I haven't said what episodes yet we're doing. I mean, obviously you know because you see the title. But as of recording this, I actually don't know how many episodes I'm going to be recording today. I will say that I'm going to record as many as I can, as many as I feel feels right. And that obviously, as I'm going to make another video to explain it, but there will be no Asobi Asobase reaction today. Even though, yeah, we just switched the schedule. Asobi Asobase is just now on Mondays and all. We are skipping it this week because I do want to try to get as caught up as I can. We're not skipping everything. Keep that in mind. I did bring up that idea before about just taking the week off from mostly everything and getting to Star Versus. We're not doing that. We're just skipping this today. We're skipping Asobi Asobase today, and we're just going to do Star Versus. And again, I'm going to do as many episodes as I can. Again, and once again, you know as you're watching this how many I did. But I don't know. I have all of the episodes that are currently released downloaded. So if I were able to get through all of them, which would be insane, I could. I don't think I will, but I could. Basically, we'll just start reacting, and whenever I feel it's a good point to stop, that's when we'll stop. Um, if that means we watch all of them, that means we watch all of them. If that means we only watch like two or three, we only watch two or three. And keep in mind, I will watch more than one. That I will watch more than one episode. That much I can confirm. But I just don't know how many it will be. We'll see. We'll see. Um, either way. Um, Once again, thank you so much for continuing to support the channel and everything, and for all of you who had been supportive, even with the long wait for more reactions and stuff. I again do apologize for that. It's just been hectic and everything, and now that we're switching around the schedule, hopefully that'll help things for the future. Even for other shows that we might end up doing this with, like probably like Steven Universe. Whenever that comes back, if that comes back, we still don't know if that's coming back. There's like supposed talk about a sixth season, and I mean we know there's going to be a movie, but we don't know exactly what's going on with that because nothing's been said. And if there is a sixth season, what the fuck are they going to do? Because they really, really forcefully wrapped everything up at the end of season 5 in an extremely rushed and poorly handled way. I don't know. Either way, this is not about Steven Universe today, even though I am wearing my Stevani shirt. So yeah, we're just going to get this started and see how far we go. So yeah, let's get this going. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so this was a this set of episodes left me a little conflicted. Um, and I'm gonna go in order, but I do want to bring up one thing real quick. Actually, no, I'll get to it. Let's just go in order. So first we had episode 15. I'm looking at the list here because I had to get reminded of which everything was in order. And we have Doop Doop and British Tacos are 15. So Doop Doop, basically the after events of the coronation and everything. Marco and Jana are going to be heading back to Earth, while Star and Tom are doing a vacation. Star is stalling and just says she kind of ends up needing time, and ends up going back to stay with the Diaz family for a while meeting Mary Posa. And I was right that Justin Roiland is Doop Doop, Star's first spell, apparently. So this episode was just kind of basic and was leading to something that, we'll talk about in the future. I didn't really have any strong thoughts on it, though. I didn't really like it that much, but I didn't hate it necessarily either. Then we get to British Tacos, which is 15B. So Marco and Star bring Mary Posa to British Tacos, and Marco's trying to get a punch card, and they just see a bunch of their friends there and stuff, and we get to see all kinds of different people. We get to see Sensei and Oscar, who are working at British Tacos now. Principal Skeeves and Mr. Candle/Crandall are there. And it's like, okay, is he the same guy or not? It's like it's still playing with that. Starfan 13 is there, and it's great to see her. We see Ferguson and Alonzo, who now have a D&D group, which is pretty awesome. I played D&D myself, so. And we even get Jackie Lynn, who, yeah, she apparently has a girlfriend now. I think it was definitely hinting that. Star Versus has been very good about that kind of representation anyways. But the way they skated off holding hands together, I think it was definitely implying that. But yeah, it's Chloe, and she was voiced by Jessica Perret, I believe it's pronounced. Um, and yeah, she is a French student who Jackie met while studying abroad, and they just yeah, came together, I guess. Jackie did say that she learned a lot about herself when she was over in France and everything, and so and that was being mentioned while Marco was talking about their past relationship, and also I definitely think it's kind of implying that Jackie might have discovered that she might be lesbian or bi or something. And it's like people will automatically assume bi, but I've talked about this before. She could be lesbian and just might not have known it before, might not have realized it before. It is very possible. There have been gay guys, and there have been lesbians who have been in heterosexual relationships before they realized they were gay or lesbian. So either way, it's good to see some kind of closure with that, even though I still think it was handled poorly before. But then we get 16. So 16 is Beach Day and Gone Baby Gone. So Beach Day kind of is wrapping up that entire plot line. It's wrapping up the entire Beach Day photo that Star got from Father Time, or as we find out in this episode, she technically got from herself, because she gives it to Father Time to give to herself. So they go to the beach, and everything seems to be going wrong, but once they start having fun, they end up realizing that that's kind of how it was supposed to go. And there's this old lady on the beach who took a photo of them, truthfully, without asking and all. But that was the Beach Day photo. And Star gives it to Father Time, and yeah. But we also find out that Father Time does mention briefly that the worst is yet to come. And so that is kind of leading, obviously, into the big finale stuff with Mina. 16B was Gone Baby Gone. So Hekapoo comes to warn Marco, like, don't return to Muni, stay here. And in the meantime, one of her portals is left open, and Mariposa and Meteora, the latter of which Marco is babysitting for, so Eclipse and Globgor can have a date night, they sneak through the portal. Marco and Star go there. We see Brunzetta again, who Star, rather, is still in love with, clearly. But they go and they find them. And we see that they have become teenagers at this point. And again, I mentioned this in my pre-thoughts. This was something I was spoiled on. I just didn't know the context. I just knew that there was something involving them as teenagers. And so Marco and Star have to try to convince them, well, of who they are, and to get them to come back with them. And there's this little part with this guy who I guess his name, I missed his name in the reaction, but I guess from what I'm seeing here, it's like Wyskin the Granter, or Wiskin, or something like that. He's voiced by Max Middleman, fun enough. But yeah, apparently that part was just kind of okay. It's like, this dude's interesting, very anime. Actually, I'd say more JRPG than anime. Yeah. Either way, the stuff with Meteora and Mariposa and stuff was very interesting, and I wish we could have gotten more of that. I feel like this was just a really random rush storyline, and really didn't amount to much. If it comes back in the finale somehow, then okay, but it just feels like it was kind of out of place and unnecessary. The only thing that felt even slightly important here was the Hekapoo thing, of course. But then we get to 17. So 17A is Sad Teen Hotline. And this is easily the worst episode of this set. These 3 episodes I watched today. And yeah, it's because of Tom breaking up with Star. And here's the thing. The idea of Tom breaking up with her and then them just breaking up in general isn't even so much the problem as it is what the episode is also kind of implying. There's a lot of implication in this, and that comes from this breakup, about Marco getting back together with Star despite the entire thing with the Blood Moon curse. And at this point, trying to do that, trying to have them come together again and be a couple again, whether this actual series ends that way or not, would feel as forced as anything could possibly be in this show. Their entire relationship in the first place was forced. And then the fact that it was revealed to all be fake and everything, and it was fixed, and, you know, the curse was lifted, that was actually pretty good. That was fantastically done. And it made everything feel better. But the idea that I had said before that if they fall in love again, fine, but they have to do it right. This is not doing it right. This is making it, this is forcing it to an extreme level and trying to like act like, oh, they were actually in love the entire time and it wasn't just a blood moon curse, which is bullshit, because no, they fucking weren't. If you think that there was any actual, again, romantic chemistry or love there, I'm sorry to tell you, no, there wasn't. There was nothing there to connect them as a romantic couple. And that's why the Blood Moon Curse idea and everything was so good. That's why it worked so well. And now they're just they just seem to be kind of forcing this back. I mean, Marco and Kelly apparently are broken up, not just as breakup buddies. They're broken up completely. And now this, and it's like, it's legitimately trying to force Marco and Star to be together. And it feels so false. It feels so fake. It doesn't feel natural at all, and it comes across as extremely, extremely poorly handled. The stuff with Star and Tom's powers not working and the implications that we already had with things starting to go down in Muni, like, that stuff was fine. I liked that stuff, and it was really interesting. Even the dimensional scissors not working, that was really interesting. But everything involving Star and Tom's breakup and everything felt extremely out of place. And even so, again, as I said, I wouldn't be completely opposed to the idea of them breaking up necessarily if it was handled well. That wasn't even handled well. If that too felt extremely out of place and forced. It felt extremely sudden too. Like they tried to give it some kind of build up with the entire Dupe episode, with Tom going off on his own and Star having those needing the time to figure herself out and stuff. But honestly, nothing about that screamed relationship trouble. Nothing about it screamed relationship trouble. And then all of a sudden we see Tom again, and it's like, oh, I'm breaking up with you. It's like, what? It irritates me as much as it does because I like this show. It's a good show, but it's doing the same things that Steven Universe did in the 5th season. It's making all of these stupid, rushed mistakes and forcing these ideas and plot lines that just come out of nowhere and feel completely unnatural. And it's hurting the overall quality of the show. And don't get me wrong, Starverse is still a great show, and it will continue to be a great show. But they're forcing so much into these final episodes. It seems, again, like I said, it seems like there needed to be another season. Like I said in my pre-thoughts and all, it just seems like there's not enough time to wrap everything up, and that's kind of being proven with these episodes. They're forcing all of this wrap-up in such a short time, and they're doing all of this new stuff and different stuff in such a short amount of time. It's not enough. It's not working. But either way, 17B, let's move on to that for the moment, is Shenanigans. Um, so Star, Marco, and Tom kind of put together, well, mostly Star, um, that Jana is the key to them getting back to Muni and finding out what's going on with the portals and everything. Because Jana somehow got to Muni without a portal or any normal way. But she tells them she doesn't remember how she did it. So they go through her normal daily procedure. They meet this knitting guy named Needles, which is really interesting. According to this, he's voiced by a Dominican American writer, comedian, TV personality, voice actor, YouTube personality, music blogger, and Twitter personality named the Kid Marrow, or his real name, I guess, is Joel Martinez. I've never heard of him, but apparently he's in everything. He does everything, apparently. He's a writer, he's a comedian, TV, Twitter, YouTube personality, voice actor. What? um, and then Pickles, who I guess is the other guy who was there. He's voiced by Dacis Nice. Again, another guy who's kind of does the same thing, and apparently he's worked with the Kid Marrow before. Sure. Don't know him either. But in this, so yeah, they're going around trying to go through Jana's normal Tuesday and figure things out. And this is the episode where Marco, or where they kind of hint that, okay, get back together with Star, Marco. Tom kind of pushes that and everything. And again, I hate that so fucking much. It's so bad, so poorly done. And we see Jana actually display real stress and emotion, and I really like that. I feel it's way too late in the series to really start that, though. It feels like it's just kind of being like they're like the writers and the creators of the show are trying to force it in again at the last possible minute. It feels like they're trying to wrap up all these things to add all of these character developments and stuff at the last possible minute. And it just, again, makes it feel unnatural. But Jana starts to realize things about how she got to Muni. So we find out that she broke into to Brita's Tacos to get the T-shirt from the prize that Marco was trying to win. So she broke into the restaurant, found this back door in this underground tunnel underneath the restaurant, and apparently there is a well that leads, I guess, to Muni. And that well was shown before, like it showed the same clip and stuff. But we had seen that before with Star and Moon after having been in the magic dimension and stuff. We saw Moon had like pressed against the top trying to open it and stuff. Yeah, that I do like, because that doesn't feel like it's trying to wrap things up all of a sudden. That feels more like that is an actual payoff to something that we were wondering. Like back when that first happened, we were wondering, okay, where is this? Where is this at? We never really found out. So now we get that actual information. There's also a mural there that shows Glossaric and all, and it's like, what is that about? Why is that there? Like, legitimately, why is that there? Even like, though the fact the portal, or I guess you could say portal, the well is much more important right now. We need to find out why that's there, and it needs to be a believable reason. It feels like that's a big deal at this point. But either way, so yeah, I'm kind of conflicted overall on these episodes. None of them really hit it out of the park for me, and a lot of it just felt like they were trying to force in stuff at the last minute. It felt like, you know what this feels like? This feels like the show was canceled, It feels as if Star Versus had been canceled and they just have to try and force everything out at the last minute. And I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't canceled. It's just ending. But the thing is, like I said, it feels like it was canceled. That's what these episodes are doing. And it's coming across as very forced, very fake, very uninspired, and just honestly plain poorly written and handled. And because of it, it is just really hurting my enjoyment here. Um, and honestly, that's the big reason why I stopped it at 17 instead of continuing to go to 18. Well, also there is the reason that I think they're gonna, starting in 18, they're gonna get to some big stuff. But I also felt like I just didn't want to continue watching after that because I was just upset by a lot of what was going down, especially again with the Tom Star thing. And so it's just like I was just I just wanted to kind of end it there for today. Now, obviously, I'm going to get to the rest. I'm going to get to 18, 19, 20, and 21. 21, obviously, not coming out till this coming Sunday. I am going to get to those, of course. It's just, this is what I got to today. And yeah, I am glad I'm catching up. But again, these episodes just were not that great. And it's like there were some good things in them, and they all had some legitimately positive aspects, but overall, they just felt like, again, they were trying to force in a lot of stuff. It felt like they were trying to just really quickly rush through all of this stuff so they can get to the finale. And it's like, oh, we wrapped everything up. Well, let's focus on what we want to focus on. That's kind of how it feels, you know? It feels like none of this stuff mattered to the writers and the creators of the show, and they just did it to do it, just to say they did it. Even Jana showing actual emotion and depth to her character felt completely forced here. Because again, it happened way too late. It happened way too suddenly. Way too. The fact that it happened at the end of the show instead of like season 2 or even early season 3 does not work. It feels like, oh, the fans want to see Jana actually show real humanity and emotion instead of just be this creepy, weird girl all the time. Let's just force it in suddenly, randomly in this episode. That's exactly what it felt like. I mean, what we actually got was good, but the inclusion of it itself was what was bad. And again, the entire thing with Meteora and Mariposa was excessively forced and unnatural and just didn't even feel like it amounted to anything. The beach day thing was extremely underwhelming for how much that was built up. And I get that that's partly the point. I get that. But it just did not feel good with it. And once more, the breakup with Tom and Star felt completely forced and unnatural. And it feels like it's just trying to forcefully push Star and Marco, despite having no romantic chemistry and nothing to properly put them together as a couple. So yeah, these episodes really just bothered me, and I do not know where this is going to go in the future. I do not know what the rest of these episodes are going to have in store for us. But we are going to check them out hopefully soon. Hopefully we don't have another 3 weeks before we get to any more of this. I should be able to get to more of it later this week. I don't know if I'll be able to get to the rest of it, but definitely more of it. And hopefully, like I said, once this is all done and over with, we don't have to worry about this issue with other shows and stuff in the future. I'm going to try not to do this in the future if I can, with having the show be like, oh, I'll just get to the episodes when I get to them. I'm going to try not to have to do that if I can help it, because it just I just don't feel like it works well. Either way, yeah, this was disappointing today. Hopefully the next set of episodes, though, go well. So in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,